Hey guys, welcome to the Military Arsenal. I'm going to review this Glock 22. This is a Generation 3, and this was my first handgun that I ever purchased. This is a 40 caliber pistol. It came with two 15-round magazines, and I've only done two things to this. The first thing that I did was I replaced the polymer guide spring rod assembly with a metal one, and I got that at a gun show. And the second thing that I did was I got this plug from Glockmeister, and it fills up that hollow area at the bottom of the frame, and it makes it look more refinished or refined. Okay, it looks better in my opinion. If you're gonna replace any parts on your Glock, I would recommend breaking them in first. For example, like when I put this metal guide spring rod in, I had two or three jams after I put it in. And then after that, I've had no problems to feed or anything. So this definitely had to be broken in. So if you're going to use your gun for protection and you change a part, make sure you break it in first. I know a lot of guys, when they get Glocks, one of the first thing they do is they, upgrade the magazine release to an extended magazine release. They'll put extended takedown tabs in it, an extended slide release. I never did that because there's really no reason for me to, because I can use it pretty easily. It's not hard at all. The sights are white and they're not 3-dot. The rear sight is like a U, and then the front sight is just a dot. Very easy to use, very easy to see. When you pick it up and you aim it, they go together perfectly. Okay, this is a very, very accurate gun. 40 caliber, it's a little bit more powerful than a 9mm, but it's not quite as powerful as a 45. It's like a medium in between those two. It has a Teflon finish, I think that's what they call it. Very durable. There's no wear on this gun at all. The serrations are just your standard vertical serrations, and the gaps are a little bit big. They're not the most aggressive serrations in the world, so you kind of got to grab it tight to pull it back, but it's not that hard. Very reliable, as you all know. Glocks, most reliable handgun on the earth. It's unbelievable. If it's legal in your state, you can get higher capacity magazines. This is a 15-shot magazine, but if you want to, you can get one with an extended base plate, and then you can have an extra 2 or 3 rounds. And if you want, you can get a high capacity magazine like this one right here. This is a 29-round magazine. This is not made by Glock. This is an off-brand. I got this at a gun show for about 20 bucks. And it kind of makes it look like a Glock 18. That's kind of why I got it, just for the cool factor of it. I did try it and it worked fine. I was kind of surprised because sometimes when you get off-brand magazines, especially high-capacity ones like this, they don't feed really good, but this one worked fine, so I like it a lot. But I primarily just use this one right here. It's not the best gun in the world for concealed carry, although I've heard of many people that do it successfully, and they say it's very comfortable. It's very lightweight, so they say they don't even know it's on them. Someday I'd like to try it. I mostly use this gun for, shooting at the range. It feeds hollow points very well. It feeds full metal jacket very well. Cheap ammunition, expensive ammunition, whatever you put through this, it's going to fire. And that's a great thing about the Glock. If you're looking for a handgun and you're just getting into firearms and you're not very experienced, I would really recommend going with the Glock. Any model you can think of. You can get the Glock 17 in the 9mm. If you want a smaller one, you can get a Glock 19. There's just so many options, but any Glock would be good for a starter pistol, especially if you're not really familiar with firearms, because they're very simple, very easy to take apart. I'll show you how to do that right now. The first thing you do is you take the magazine out, clear it, you pull the trigger. Now what I do is I wrap my hand around the rear of the slide, I pull back slightly, you pull down on your takedown tabs, and the slide just comes right off. Okay, and then you can take out your guide spring rod assembly like that, and then your barrel comes out, and that's it. That's as far as you have to go for maintenance. Okay, and if you wanted to, you could go farther and take out your firing pin and everything. I did that once last spring. Pete from the Armory channel made a video on how to do that, and I just followed it. I was kind of curious to see how dirty this was because I've had it for about 2 years, and it really wasn't that dirty, but it's good to know how to do that. And putting it back together is just as simple, just like that, and then just slide it on, and then you're back in business. Okay, very nice. This is a very popular gun that the police carry. The police in my area have carried the Glock 22 for many years, and they just recently switched over to the Glock 21 because they wanted the 45 ACP. They wanted a little bit more knockdown power, but the Glock 22 is an excellent choice for home protection or self-defense, concealed carry. There's only one thing about it that keeps me from carrying this with one in the chamber, is the fact that it does not have a manual safety. It has this little tab in the trigger, so pretty much your safety is on the trigger. And there's nothing wrong with that, but personally, I don't feel comfortable carrying this +1. So if I was ever to conceal carry this, I would just load up the magazine and have to cock it if I needed it. Okay? It's kind of like a double action revolver though. You take it out of your holster and you just pull the trigger. You don't have to worry about flicking off any safeties or anything like that. It's very simple to use. And that's another reason if you're, new to firearms, it's a great choice because you don't got to think if you're going to use it in a situation where you're not really having time to think. You just pull the trigger. But it's a great nightstand gun. Excellent. I would say any gun owner, especially if you collect guns, you need to have at least one Glock. And even if you don't like them, if you get one, you will like it. I remember before I got this one about 2 years ago, I never really liked Glock too much. I didn't really think they looked nice. I was thinking, they're ugly. And then I started watching a lot of videos on YouTube, and every time I went into a gun shop, I would hold one. And they actually seemed kind of nice. So I was in the market for a high-capacity handgun, semi-automatic, so I decided, hey, I'll go with the Glock, and I picked the 22 in the 40 caliber, and I'm very happy that I did it. It was a great choice. It's one of my best shooters. It's very fun to shoot, and it's very accurate. It's just a great gun, so I really highly recommend it. 40 caliber, it's a little bit snappy. It doesn't recoil much, but it is a little bit snappy. But I highly recommend it. You got your rail right here if you want to put an optic on it. You have these finger grooves on the front strap. On the back strap, you have checkering. Now on the Generation 4, you have interchangeable back straps where you can pick how much you want it to flare out depending on the size of your hand. And that's pretty nice. And then on the Generation 4, the frame, it has the rough texture and it looks a little bit different. And I think the recoil system is a little bit different as well. But pretty much they're identical. I like the Generation 3 the best. I think it looks the nicest. Okay. You can get these in different colors as well. I've seen Glocks that have dark earth frames, OD green frames. They're a little bit more expensive, but if you want a black one, you can get it a little bit cheaper. So that's my Glock 22. I appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.